Good morning everyone and welcome back to our channel. If this is your first time here, stick around because we're gonna have lots of fun stuff in this video. I always share tons of tips and tricks and little processes behind the scenes that we do when working on these boats. But if you haven't already, make sure you tune in to the first episode found up here. We're doing a whole series on a restoration on one of these wooden boats. Now it's kind of funny timing because right now we're currently doing the marine ply on the transom of Rat Sink, and they're actually also setting up the marine ply for the hull sides on this gravette here. Now this is gonna be a really cool video too. I've actually been filming this since the day it came in here. So at some point, once we get the hull sides put on, I'm gonna have a full video for you guys on how we do the complete restoration of this. I'm thinking I'll probably do it without any voiceover, leave the background noise in there if you will. It'll be a super awesome video. I'm really excited for that one. Yeah, and these are super unique boats as well, so it's really cool for us to be able to work on one of these, and on top of that also have video progress. We're gonna have that again, like I said, that whole video, so that'll be a lot of fun coming out in the future here. So to jump back into our series, let's head on over next door and let's get going back on Rat Sink. Now of course last time we left off with sealing the rear transom and getting that piece made. But today I was kind of hoping we could focus on the frames. Now Artem has been building these behind the scenes for us so that I don't have the monotony of building this frame and then this one. We've kind of been able to mix it up a little bit due to that, so appreciate the hard work from Artem on that one. So starting with this one, let's take a look at what goes into getting these level. Now of course the first thing I'm gonna do before I set these heights is I'm gonna make sure the keel is sitting exactly where I want it. Now of course it can't have a massive hog in it if we're going to start tuning the frames. However, if it's somewhat close to being correct, we can work with that. Now you can see it's not entirely perfect, but that is a whole lot better. In order to get that dip out, I just put the jack here so it was lifting it up, lifting this up too, and then I strapped this down directly down to where it's currently sitting. Notice I didn't go around here because these are technically loose. They're not attached to any of these frames right now. There is, supporting brackets holding them up, but you don't want to be putting pressure on these runners as well. So I got this force pushing up on the keel and I got this force pulling down. So it should take that bend and kind of do this, and you can see how much nicer it is sitting on there. Again, it's not perfect, but it's really close, and I can begin to tune the frames to that, knowing that I'm somewhat in the ballpark now. So starting with this frame, I gotta come up and I have to go down. So what I'm going to do is identify where I can remove material from here in order to make that work, or add material, and we'll see what I can do. So after using the chisel, just remove a little bit of material. You can see how much flatter that is right there. So after I get my heights dialed in, I can then make sure that everything is nice and smooth. So I'm gonna carry on getting all of these dialed in, sanded down, shaped, whatnot, and then we can pick up from there. Now in doing this, I will say it's very important you identify which surfaces are the most important. So something to think about is that the frames need to be structural before they can be a place for 5200 to go on. So my primary concern right now is not necessarily getting these perfectly high right off the get-go. Now my primary concern, yes, is making sure these are level, but that may not be the case on some of these. The most important part is that it's a firm connection here, a firm connection here, and a firm connection here. Just like that, you can see there's no hardware in there, and it's connecting on everything it should. There is a little shim, as there were shims in here before. When we removed the old ones, there were shims underneath all of these. It's important that these are structural first, and then we can address the height issue after. For example, this one sits pretty nice right there, but when I put the ruler across and I take a look, you can see it's sitting rather high. So I'll probably have to take a little bit off the top of it, but again, that all comes down to making sure the frame is sitting nice, and then I can start taking material off of the top to fit the plywood bottom. I accidentally broke my my tripod I use for filming, so I've been using this clamp to hold things down. Works pretty good. I mean, you just, there you go, clamp tripod. So there we go, that's an example of the frames being put in the basic spots. So one thing I will mention too is you'll notice that there is a slight angle going this way on the frame here, and this is flat. So when I go to take some material off of here to make sure that it's meeting up, I'm going to take into account the fact that there is a slight bit of an edge that I'm going to have to remove as well. Now I am going to skip the next one because this one actually doesn't go up underneath here. It's just kind of a support to hold this one in place that gets fastened on, because of course you have the prop shaft running through here, so you want to make sure there's clearance for it, and then when you go to remove it, as well as the prop shaft box there, you need this piece to be removable. So I'm not going to be setting these ones up just yet. Once I have them all set where I want them, I'll come back to these. So I have this one all the ways back. These are all tight without any clamps or any fasteners. They're all in position and they are all supporting their own weight. So what I'm going to do, I've left out the supporting brackets for now. I'm going to put those in after. I'm going to take the weight off of this and see what happens. Now theoretically, if I take the weight off of that, it's going to push down on the middle, which is going to lift up on this side, and they're all butted up right against there. So it should stay in position, if not move just a little bit. This one we're going to have to leave for now because you know, tension's going up and I don't have fasteners holding it down, but let's see what happens when I take the weight off this. So I've taken the tension off of there, and you can see the hog has greatly improved from where it was last time. Again, it's not perfect. This boat's not going to be perfect, but you can see the dip has been taken out pretty drastically. So moving on forward, I'm going to keep going ahead here with the rest of these. Still haven't done these ones yet. And then once these are all taken care of, I'll do these ones, and then I'll start setting up the lines going up to this edge here. Perfect. There we go. Those are all under tension. That is really awesome. So, like I said, I'm gonna have to get these ones done as well. But what I think I'm gonna do to get started with, I'm gonna make sure that they're straight, lined up, and I'm gonna have to clamp them down to these spots here. So I'm just going to take a break on the frames for now because we actually got some wood that I can use on the transom. Now I am going to fit the first starting piece of wood to make sure that that plank is going to fit on there nice before I put the ply on, because I have the benefit of being able to clamp to this, being able to use that to mark out the piece of wood. So let's go take a look at the mahogany piece we have. Now thankfully I'm not going to be using the best piece of mahogany. Typically these guys like to use, you know, the really nice ribbon grain style mahogany on the sides, so I don't have to pick the nice stuff. So I'm not going to grab a piece like this, but there is this piece here that I am going to use. Now it is a pretty piece of mahogany, but you'd have to have an entire boat made of this for it to make sense. Seeing as we only have the one plank, I'm going to go ahead and use this one, and I am going to be painting it too, so I'm not hyper concerned with the look of it. So let's get this over to the boat and start sectioning off pieces. So I have my piece of wood here, and what I'm going for is I want the middle of the piece of wood to be right in the middle of the batten. So you can imagine the one piece comes from here up to the middle, and then the next one would sit on top of that. That way the fasteners can both get an equal shot at going into this batten. And the other thing I'm trying to go for is I want a straight line across. You can imagine if you have a flat piece of wood and you bend it like this, sometimes doing the bend causes it to kind of go up a little bit. So ideally it's a straight line right across the back, but in some cases, as you fasten it on there, it starts to ramp itself up. So hopefully I can get some nice straight lines on here. Now to do that, I'm gonna get my piece of wood and put it in place. Now here's what you can notice. There's a big gap at the bottom, and then it's way above the batten. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna trace out this curve onto the piece of wood and then drop it down. There should still be tons of wood on the top here that I can then bring it to where I need it to be. The most important part is getting this curve nice so that this piece of wood sits in here, and then of course making sure that it's straight. So I'm gonna get some clamps, and I'm gonna clamp this piece of wood onto the back here so I can begin tracing that out. Now this wood is fairly flexible, so right now I have it clamped down here and I have it touching just the bottom of the curve. It's coming along and it's touching the bottom of the curve. Now here's something to consider. When I take off about this much material from the sides here, this piece is gonna drop down, right? But I don't want this piece to drop down so far that it then misses the batten entirely. So I'm gonna take some quick measurements here just to determine where this is actually gonna sit once I cut it. So measuring down to the top of the batten here, it comes up to about 2 3/4. So that's 2 3/4 until the top of the batten, okay? Plus, of course, there is the width of it, and the width of these battens is about 1.5 inches. So about 3/4 more. So 2 3/4 plus that is 3.5, okay? So 3.5 inches is our max amount that we can drop this piece down. Anything more than 3.5 inches, and we're gonna be going past the middle of the batten. So we'll take our ruler, we'll measure, and it looks like we come up at about 2.5. So that means if I take 2.5 inches of material off of here, I drop it down, I'm gonna have about 1/4 inch sticking above the batten. So still plenty of room for me to cut and plane this piece of wood to fit. So knowing that, I'm gonna make sure that this piece is level, it's not tilted, and once I'm happy with it, I'll show you guys the technique to get this curve onto this piece of wood. Now I have that piece of wood, it's lined up with that plank right there, and then over on this side, it's the same thing. It lines up with this plank over here. Now we have lots of jigs laying around our shop, but I just kind of grabbed a different jig that was meant for something else and just kind of retrofitted it for now. But essentially what I'm doing is I'm mounting it on my reference piece, and then I'm going to be taking this with a fixed point and dragging it along, and I can make my reference marks. Now it's by no means perfect, but neither is the surface I'm working with. At the very least, it gets it so that I can start moving this piece of wood down, and seeing as I have plenty of material to work with, I can start to shape it, but that's gonna get me really close to the ballpark that I need, and I'm gonna do that all the ways across. Now, to finish off the edge of this curve, I'm actually gonna take it off the boat. Now, in order for this trick to work, I'm gonna need something pretty particular. I'm gonna need a piece of wood or metal that is the exact same thickness from start to edge. I'm then gonna put down a clamp right in the middle, one on the edge, and I'm gonna create a parabolic curve. And that's how I'm going to get that exact line up to the edges here. So now I got my piece of wood, I'm gonna set it up, I'm gonna pull it over right to where I need it to be. Once I find that it sits perfectly on that line, I can then make my marking and draw it on there after. And there you go, look at that. So you have the pencil line, it comes up, it runs all the ways along here, and I can just finish off the tail end, and I have a perfect line telling me exactly where this is gonna go. Again, you can see I'm not putting any pressure on it, and the line is almost dead on. So I'm just gonna slightly move it a little bit and then quickly drop my line down. So this is our first test fit with that piece I just cut on the bandsaw. I haven't made any altercations to it. I've just put it up in place. Again, keep in mind that the deck is falling apart, so I can't exactly use this as perfect reference, but something pretty close to this is pretty good. We're gonna be replacing the deck regardless, so as long as I have a nice crisp edge on here, I should be able to work with it. But without making too many adjustments, that's how it sits, using a parabolic curve, a little piece of wood. I have it all situated in place. Now, of course, I will be smoothing this edge out, making it really nice and smooth, because I did cut it out on the bandsaw. It's not perfect. And then, of course, I will also be taking a chunk off of the top of this so that it matches up with the batten down on this side. So the next step here is I'm going to identify the middle onto this piece of wood and get my points made for here, over there, and then it's just a matter of doing a straight line, cutting it, and then putting it through the jointer. And there we go. I got the piece cut down. I ran it through the jointer. So I have a really nice straight edge, as well as that curve is sitting on there really nice. So you can see here, the batten is split pretty much in half. So I have enough room here. If you had x-ray vision, you could see it would be about right there. So I got plenty of room to put a fastener and install this plank onto the transom. But that's actually gonna do it for today, guys. I just noticed I'm kind of running out of time. I gotta edit this still, so I'm gonna have to end the video here. But I think we accomplished a lot. We got all these frames set up, so they're all kind of under tension. And then of course we got this plank started. So next video, I plan on continuing on the frames. I plan on making 2 more planks here, get the rest of the planks done. Once I'm done with the planks, they're all fitting nice. We're gonna take them off, and I'll show you guys how we're going to attach that piece of marine ply to the back of there. And then of course we can attach the pieces of wood, and away we go. We're starting to get to a point now where things are gonna start going pretty quick. The frames were kind of the big holdup on this one. It was a huge amount of work. So once the frames are done, of course, then we can do the battens. Once the battens are done, we're on to the bottom. And then with the back, once the planks are done, we're on to assembling everything. So we're starting to get to a point where it's gonna be a lot of progress in a short amount of time. We're gonna have some really fun videos coming up here soon. I'm also gonna do a part 3 to the VW thing. If you guys haven't seen that, it's right here. And I'm gonna show you guys what it looks like now, how it runs, and yeah, we're gonna have some fun driving around in it. So thank you guys so much for being a supporter of the channel. We have memberships now, so starting in March, we're gonna start doing a special video exclusively for the members. So if you wanna catch that video, I believe the starting tier is only $3 a month, and you guys can sign up, and we have plenty of other fun things that you get included with that membership. So thank you guys so much for being a part of the channel. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. It's free. Have a good rest of your day. Take care.